Hey y'all, it's your girl Missniecytv and I'm back for a review of Sistas Season 6, Episode 1. So it starts off with Maurice and Q wrestling for the gun. During the tussle, Q gets shot in the shoulder. Maurice is standing there in shock. Calvin walks up and he says, "Something told me to follow you. What did you do?" And then he sees Q on the ground and he demands that Maurice calls an ambulance. Maurice says, "I ain't calling nobody." Then while Q's on the ground, he's like, you shot me. Then he was like, I wasn't Then Maurice was like, well, you tried to shoot me. He was like, I wasn't trying to shoot you, I was just trying to scare you. Then Q goes, I'm dying. Then Maurice goes, well, you deserve to die. And then Calvin goes, call an ambulance. So Maurice wasn't calling the ambulance, so Calvin decides to take it upon himself and call the ambulance. Then he goes to Danni being at the bar drunk, demanding that the bartender gives her another drink. That's when Preston walks up, and she asks Preston, did you have a tracker on my car? He's like, no. Then he was like, how'd you know I was going to be here? Well, to dinner. Danni was like, He was like, yeah. He said, would you like to meet her? She's like, no. Then she goes, let me ask you something, Preston. When you called me, were you with her? He was like, yeah, but she was in the bathroom. Then Danni goes, well, you're really low down for that. He takes Danni's keys and phone. The bartender calls Andy, letting her know that Danni is at the bar drunk. Andy then decides to call Sabrina, letting her know that Danni is at the bar drunk. Sabrina goes again. Then Andy asks, did you call Karen? Sabrina goes, no. So Andy calls Karen, letting her know that Danni is at the bar drunk. Karen says, I was just on my way to the salon, but I guess I can turn around and go see what's wrong with Danni. For y'all to be her friends, and she just left at her apartment mad and angry, and you know that she's going through something right now. Y'all are not sounding like real concerned friends. Because if it were me, I'd be like, okay, I'm on my way. Police officer and ambulance finally arrive, and the police officer stays behind to question Q and Maurice about what happened. They ask, what happened, Mr. Webb? He goes, I was robbed at gunpoint. Then the police officer goes, how do you know Q? Maurice goes, he was my friend. The police officer goes, was? Maurice goes, yeah, as in. The police officer asked Maurice, what were you doing here? He was like, I came to get my things, and that's when I was robbed. The police officer was like, well, you sure about that? Because there are surveillance cameras. And then the police officer asked Calvin, do you have anything to do with this? He was like, no, I just got here. So Zach and Fatima are having a conversation in the bed. Zach asked Fatima, how are you cool with all this? She goes, cool with what? He goes, my baby mama situation. She goes, I'm cool with the truth. It is what it is now. You can't change it. Then he goes, I wonder if she's treating my son right. Then Fatima goes, I wonder that too. Zach goes, I really gotta get to know her because she's the mother of my child. Then they start talking about body counts and how many people they slept with. And Fatima goes, how many have you slept with? Zach couldn't answer that. So he asked Fatima the question. She goes, I only slept with 7 people. He was like, really? She's like, yeah. I'm not a hoe like you. So like that, the fact that Tyler Perry is recycling lines. Because if y'all remember from season 5, later in the episodes, Zach says the same exact thing to Fatima. And also, when he said, I don't know if you love me as much as I love you, that is the same line that Fatima said to him in Fatima season 1, episode 1. Danni is approached by the girls at the bar. Andy goes, you waited at your apartment for a long time. Danni goes, oh really, like, do you want to cook or something? Then Karen goes, we didn't mean to come down on you. We all love you. And you're our sister. Then Andy goes, we all have our faults. You know me. I love Gary, and Gary is not a good guy, and we all know that, but something about him just brings me lots of peace and happiness. Then Sabrina goes, well, you know the situation with me, Bio, and Calvin. It's tricky. And then Danny goes, I don't want to hear about that. That situation is so tiring. Then they all look at Karen like, are you going to say something? Well, Karen goes, I can't really have nothing to say because I don't know what to say. But there is a thing called prenatal, just when Andy gets up and she sees Preston and Mindy sitting at the table. Then Danny goes, well, I already seen them. So I think I'm actually about to go speak because Preston asked me if I wanted to. He approaches Preston and Mindy. Mindy goes, I've heard a lot about you. Then Danny goes, well, I've only heard about you a couple days ago. He goes, he should have told you about me sooner. Then Danny goes, we have a lot in common, like that ring you have on, because it looks quite familiar. That looks like the same ring that he tried to propose to me with, but I declined it, so he gave it to you. Mindy, what does she think that she has the same ring that Preston tried to propose to Danny with? She goes, well, I just want him to be clear. So Danny goes is, so you're okay with him being in a relationship with me about talking to you? Preston goes, I'll take Mindy to the hotel so we can talk. Then Danny goes, Mindy, how are you okay with letting him leave with another woman and making you stay at the hotel? Because if it were me, I would not let that slide at all. Then Preston goes, I've never been in this situation before. They go, what situation? Being in love. Then Danny asked the great question. She goes, so Mindy, do you know who he's talking about when he says he's in love? Because I don't know if he's talking about you or me. I forgot to add that Gary texted Andy a picture of him laying in a pile of rose petals, saying, did this picture make you want to come home? Andy goes, well, maybe. Then Gary goes, well, I know we have a lot to talk about, so come home so we can talk about it. Like, why do you feel like you have to beg for somebody's attention? You don't have to do that, Gary. He is outside of Karen's apartment begging for her to talk to him. Karen asked him, so now you want to talk? He goes, yeah. He goes, where are you at? She's like, I'm on my way to the salon, but I guess I could turn around. He hangs up with her and she calls Pam to see if she turned everything off and to send her proof of pictures and videos. Well, Karen is talking to Pam. She realized that Pam is getting her back blown out. And she goes, are you at the salon? She goes, no, I'm at my apartment. Then Pam goes, well, I did see that there was that meant that it was cooling down. Karen goes, no, that means that it's on. Then Karen goes, I'm on my way to the salon now, so make sure you send the pictures and videos. At Maurice's apartment, him and Calvin are having a conversation. Calvin says, you better hope Q's okay. Maurice goes, I don't have to hope for nothing. Then Maurice also says, I know you're not feeling bad for the person that caused us so much damage. Then Calvin goes, I just don't want him to die. Then Maurice goes, if he dies, that just means I have a body on my hands. I know that he was being sarcastic and he didn't take the stuff seriously. But Maurice also goes, he robbed me for everything. He robbed me of my belongings, my job, my freedom, all because he wanted to lie. So no, I don't feel bad. Let's not forget that he robbed me of my gowns and my jewelry too. Calvin goes, those are material things. You can get those back. Sometimes Calvin acts like a Karen, but he forgets that he almost beat Q to a pulp with a golf club until Sabrina had to stop him. Karen and Aaron finally meet up to have a conversation, and the conversation consists of, how did that lady know where my salon is? How do you know her? And why is she acting like But we've been talking for a while, and she's crazy, and she's kind of in love with me. Karen goes, what did you do to make her fall in love with you? And how crazy is she? Is she your ex-wife crazy? He goes, no, not crazy like that. Well, Karen goes, you must be doing something to have her act like that. And how does she know where my salon is? She followed me. That's what Aaron. So I asked Aaron, do you gaslight women? Because that seems like what you're doing to me and what you've done to her. He goes, Karen, I would never gaslight you, and I never have. What made you think that? Aaron is clearly doing something because there's something not right with him. And I wanted Karen to mention the fact that there's the lady Jennifer called him John. He pulls up to the salon. That's when she sees her salon full of smoke and full of flames. She tries to open the door, but she fumbles with her keys. She finally gets in, and she goes directly to the fire extinguisher, but the fire extinguisher doesn't work. The smoke and the flames engulf her, and she passes out. Pam definitely deserves to be fired after this for causing her shop harm, but not only her shop, but to harm to her and the baby. Let me know what you guys think about this episode. Please leave your comments down in the comment section below. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.